Marion downtown now. This is the one that's frightened the noises behind. You know, we found out it wasn't planned, but when when we undone her coat, Velcro on it, it went crackers. I mean, seriously, lost the plot. Yeah. Now, why would that be? And if you look at the other films that's on, you'll see her actually, even though we're dragging a sheet of metal under the carriage and making a deafening noise, when we pulled the Velcro, she could hear that. Again. But as far as, you know, that she's downtown, she's coping nice with this, got no problems. It's only in her window with a rubber bit. And she's going really sweet, you know, she's nice. But this noise behind is a bad thing, and we don't know what's caused it. So our job has been to, you know, get that out of her. Now, how do you cover all noises? Well, you can't, obviously. But when you come downtown, you get such a variety of noises. And I know this is going to sound daft to a lot of people, but the actual noise of the tyres on the road, according to the motor car and the tyres actually that the motor car's got on. Come on, babe, up we go. Trot. They can make quite a bit of different noise, you know. Also, the other thing is you can get someone delivering stuff with an open lorry, a flatbed lorry, and it'll have polythene on it making a noise, you know. Come on, baby, up you go. But, you know, they do say chestnut mares. I don't like that. I really don't like that, you know, when people say that. But because it's probably the same for all horses, not just chestnut mares. But, you know, if you get one or two like that, they end up getting a reputation. Well, she's a lovely little girl, you know, she really is. And she's doing her best to please me. And you see this big traffic, she's not a bother at all. So it's not even where you could put it as a nervous disposition, you know, with the horses a bit uptight about things. And a good worker. I mean, I never asked her, you know, to get on coming down here. I might have asked her to trot and like that, but when she's in her zone and she's trotting away, she's as good as gold, like these marks on the road here. Funny thing is, when they're newly painted, those red marks or whatever colours on the road, they react, but when they get old and worn out, they react, you know, because they look different all the time. And you see, there's a prime example of a rattly old trailer. Well, you know, obviously she's improved dramatically, because before she would have been extremely hard to hold on to. You know, she'd have bolted with it, definitely. But you can see there she's getting better and better. And also, if you paid attention to the, you know, look at that clip, that section of the film, when she heard the noise, she turned her quarters out to the noise. So why would she do that? Well, she's going to defend herself with her back legs. That's my opinion. There's no way of proving that, but you can see her automatically swing, keep her head pretty straight. Like, I mean, by that, she wasn't diving over that way to the left. She was ready to kick out, you know. So yeah, you've got to look at that carefully. I don't want to overemphasise that and make it into a big thing. But if you read them carefully, learn by them things. So you look, well, you put that over there, why did you do it? When she kept her head straight, she didn't want to come off and jump up on the grass out the way. That's it. Just walk now, darling. Just walk. Good girl, walk on. Now we've got some lovely crashing of steel over there, somewhere. I've just heard, come on. I'm just going to take it up the curb and drop it off. That's good. Just up that curb a little bit, just right up there, so that when it drops down, it's a little, she can feel it up the side of her, you know. The reason I do that, you know, just then, it's a safe place to do it. is to see what reaction, because you will get, obviously, the state of the roads, you can get a pothole that you just can't avoid, you know. So your wheel drops in the pothole when you get this. Come up, my darling. Where's good girl? What's she want? You know, you get a proper sudden jerk, and obviously she can feel it because she's wearing the shafts up the side. The harness is attached to the shafts, so it's always, walk up, mate. It's always going to be a case of, stand still, my darling girl. Yes, you are, you young rascal. Stand still now. Good girl. Good girl. Just wait a minute. There's good girl. Good girl. Walk on then. Good girl. Walk on. Now, I don't think that's anything there. Go on, babe, get up. I don't think that's anything there other than that. She don't like the old thing round her head, her mane and forelock going round her ears, you know. See, it's that laid over her ear there. She don't like that. I'm sure she don't like it. Come over, baby. That's it. Walk up, darling. There's a good girl. Walk up. There's a good girl. There's a good girl. Trot, babe. Trot. Good girl. Come on, darling. Up you go. Come on, you young rascal. Now, you say, well, why don't you put elastic band on it or tie it back or anything? Because we've got to try and get her to stand still, baby. Stand still, darling. Stand still, my sugar. Stand still. There's a good girl. Yes, you are, my baby girl. We've got to get her try and, because you can't always get down to do it. So when something like that, you've got to ask them, walk, baby, walk, to tolerate it, you know. Trot, babe. Trot. Trot, my little sugar plum. Come on, darling. Come on, baby. Yeah, that's it. Noisy truck, that one. Sounds noisy, isn't it? Funny old thing. Why it sounds noisy, you wouldn't know, would it? Come on, darling, up you go. You young rascal. Come on, babe, on you go. So what we had there, I don't know if you look back, you might see it, was a little, I would think it was some sort of drinks can. We'll have a look back on the film, played on the road. So it just went over, made a slight noise, and that's the type of thing that we're, you know, doing our very best so she'll accept it. Well, there's no point in me hanging on her mouth, yeah. I mean, she jumped forward onto her bit then, but there's no point in me hanging on her mouth and jerking her head off and screaming and shouting. Because all I'm doing then is agreeing with her that it's a problem, aren't I? You know, or that's the way she will interpret my raising my voice, etc. In my opinion. And anything I'll say is only my opinion, what I've learnt over the years, I suppose. So, come on, baby, trot on. Up you go, darling baby girl. Yes, you are. Yes, you are, you young rascal. So I think all in all, we're good. You know, I'm pleased with the progress you make. But if you look back at the old films, what Ree do, I can't speak for Ree, she's got so much work with this filming lot. But if she's got time, what she'd do is put in some other little snippets into this film to show you how she was, you know, with different things, noises. But everything else, you've got to say, her work ethic is absolutely superb. You know, you're not pushing her on all the time. I mean, obviously you want to know what you're doing, you know what I mean? You want to know how, I mean, you also got no idea how far we're going, no idea at all. So, you've got to, you know, you've got to let them know that you've got enough left to get home, put it that way, you know. You don't ever want them coming home tired, you know. That's no good at all. We do a lot of miles, but they don't come untied because obviously we build up the mileage. You see these chevrons up here, where the, the little lines going across, you get a lot of debris on the road there, yeah? A lot of it. Come on, darling, up you go, you young rascal. Yes, you are. Yes, you are, my baby girl. Oh, my little sugar plum, come on. There's a good girl. You see, like this mark on the road here, like this bit of rubbish in the road, cardboard or whatever. Don't care, go straight over it. Heavy traffic, well, you've seen plenty of heavy traffic. Actually, no problem at all. It's just this noise thing. And I don't know what's happened, and with all due respect to anybody, not the lady that owns it, I'm not talking about her at all, but where it come from and like that, you've got to actually, you can't take anybody's word for what all she's capable of doing. You've got to be shown. So here we got a thing there, right? So down there was the bus, right? See that there? So the airbags just went off down there. Just to hardly hear it. We could hardly hear it, but she heard it. She heard it. But all in all, if you look at her ears, although they're busy, I call them busy, and there's a nice yellow sign coming up here, see? So I want to put her past it with no trouble at all. Steady, my baby. Steady, my baby. Steady. Yes, you are. Go on, you little rascal. Yes, you are, sugar. So we're going down this way now, and this is like an industrial estate we're going into. It's on the way home, we just don't really have any time. Come on, darling. That's my baby. Oh, we've got coming up here a funny old roundabout. I love this roundabout. It's barely a roundabout, it's only tiny, but it's made out of old cobble sets, what the roads were made of donkeys years ago. So what we can do, as long as it's, safe to do so, we can ask her to go around it or even over it if we can, Obviously you can only do these things when it's safe, but the only way they learn to deal with traffic and all the signage and everything is, come on, my baby. Yes, you are. You do that for me. Go on, my darling. You good girl. Yes, you are. Yes, you are, you rascal. So that was lovely. A slight hesitation. So she's still living off my voice, or put it this way, she still needs, me to help her through, talk her through. Obviously, by the time, she goes home, I won't be talking to her at all, because by then she'd have built her own confidence with my help, and it'll be her confidence that takes her through and faces everything that she's got to face. Yeah? Come on, baby, up you go. Yes, you are, you little rascal. But they're all different, and you've got to treat them different, and what we've got to do is get them to be safe, confident, and more important than anything, happy. Because we've got no right, that's it, babe, they've got an engine running there, see? They've got another engine running that's, all right, mate, that's, pulling out these gullies, sucking these gullies out, yeah? Come up, darling. So that's strange to her, so it's got one engine, come on, up, babe, working the pump, yeah? Sometimes it's the engine of the actual lorry, sometimes it's got an independent one. Come over, babe, straight over this manhole here. Now, if you say, why is that important to go over that roundabout back there? Well, obviously it is, because if you come across a road, she's straight over that manhole, can you hear the noise under her little feet? You good girl, yes you are, yes you are, my baby. My little sugar plum. So there you go. That roundabout back there, if you had a road or any sort of, funny marks on the road, the more they do, like these ones here, these are for blind people, to, when they come to the edge of the road, they can feel it under their feet, you know, these light coloured slabs. So that anything like that, come on my darling, up you go, you little rascal. This is nice, see a rattly trailer, see that? You can't hear it much on this, you know, these microphones, none of them are really any good for it, but the noise it makes is quite remarkable. Come on darling, up you go. You know, when you're out in the open air, like when you're in your motor car, you've got the windows up, you've got your aircon on, everything's good. If you go along on a bicycle, it's entirely different. There's it. Up you go, my darling. Up you go, my little baby. So what we're going to do, we're going to go up here now, and this is quite an interesting thing. On the other films, you'll see us pull up for a coffee. Go on, babe, when you go. We'll pull up for a coffee for two reasons. One is to give our little mate a rest before we go home, yeah? And two, for a cup of coffee. But what we'll do now, she wants a little bit of quiet time, in my opinion, right? So I could go around the front and into the estate where the coffee shop is, and park right outside if I wanted to. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to this lower road here. Come on, darling, up you come. Because obviously when people see horse in town, it's unusual these days. I mean, I grew up with it, but it's unusual these days. Come up, darling, up you go. Come on, baby, up you go. You good girl, up. Yes, you are, you rascal. Yes, you are, you little rascal. Come over. Go on, babe, up you go. That's it, just walk, that's it. That's it, lovely. Cheers, mate. Oh, my baby, good girl, good girl. That's lovely there, see? That's the sort of thing I mean. Man just stopped his van, turned it off, yeah, because we was coming through. Really lovely, what a lovely thing to do. But he started it up again, she didn't like it. So a little reaction to it. Well, you know, a week ago, 10 days, fortnight, she'd have been jumping up on the pavement, you know, on the sidewalk here. She'd have been jumping up there because she'd been frightened by it. But every time we're doing something, she's getting better, you know, and that's all we can ask for, isn't it, really? So there you go, we're going to stop here, put a rug over her back. She's at that horrible time for horse that, oh baby, it's in work. She's hanging on to her coat, yeah? It's very hard to get a coat out of this horse. Some of them are like that for no reason, which makes them, you know, gets a bit hot because they've got two coats, haven't they? The new one and the old one they're still wearing, if you like. Stand still, baby. Stand still, darling. So that's it. We'll have a cup of coffee now.